He's like, times are rough. Hey, this is Fumes Unleashed, where we leave everything out in the air, unscripted, uncensored, and raw. Let's get right into it. So, I had a boy watch our last episode. Honestly, he told us that he didn't really hear much about us. So, in case you didn't watch the first episode, in case you want to get to know us a little bit better, we're just going to go round the couch or across the couch.
We're going to go a little bit more in depth about ourselves and give you guys a little personal connection to everybody who's part of the team.
Yeah. And honestly, I want to do the shout out real quick.
Yeah, let's shout out now. Let's shout out.
Shout out now.
Because people are watching. People are gonna watch this. If you're watching this,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I thought you.
Oh, okay. I'll take it. I'll take the reins.
Go for
Listen,
it.
bro. Mr. Shoe Straight, 1900s, the originator, the GOAT, the kid. I don't know how many other. Thomas the Train. Shout out to Thomas.
Yeah, shout out to Thomas,
because
man.
he recommended a lot of the equipment that we're getting for the podcast, and he really murdered it. Like,
Yeah.
first degree murder.
First degree murder.
He needs to have like a trial. It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy. It's wild, man.
Clap it up for Thomas.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you not entertained? Are you not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. Thomas really like as far as being a technician advisor, that man has not stopped hitting since day one. Since day one.
Literally, everything
man.
he's recommended has been nothing but like golden.
It's been super clutch, man.
Golden. And he's not just recommending us the most expensive things. He's recommending us like things that are really, really good quality
and affordable.
That are affordable too. So really shout out to Thomas because
Big
he's making
shout out,
this
big shout
possible
out.
for real.
Yeah, and also shout out to honestly all our supporters, man. The first episode, like
everybody that was
within the first
sharing.
Everyone who's followed the Instagram, everyone who's watched the podcast already, or they watched the preview already.
Yeah.
Everyone
shared
who's
it
supporting
around.
it. Yeah,
Appreciate
they're
it.
sharing
Thank
it.
everyone.
Like, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Big shout out. Big shout out.
Shout out.
So yeah, let's get right into it. My name's Chris. I'm 25 years old. I'm a truck driver. That's what I do for a living for right now. I plan on owning other trucks, and I have other ambitions as well that comes off of owning those other trucks. But those are for later to come. I'll explain the process and everything that goes into that. As I learn the process and I'm able to teach it to you guys. So
Fact. Chris, give him some fun facts about yourself.
Man, what a trick question, man. I'm a boring guy, if I'm gonna be honest. Man. I'm a boring guy.
Man, this guy's a capper, bro.
Man.
This guy's a capper, bro. Because I don't know anyone who goes to the gym probably as consistently as Chris. Chris is a gym rat. He's a hooper. He has a bunch of interesting things about him. He's just being humble right now.
Nah, man. All right, so for sure, man. I'm a hooper, 100%. One of the great, actually, a fun fact that I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but I'm a beast at dancing bachata. Like I would like to say I'm above your average.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm no
Are you saying?
professional.
Would you say that you could teach a class?
I could teach a class,
You
with the
could teach a class?
moves, I got. Yeah, I could teach maybe like a 2-part class or something. But
2-part.
Okay.
you learn something.
So let's say I took someone, Steven took someone, and you took someone. They don't know how to dance bachata. We have 4 weeks with them, and at the end, who do you think student wins that competition?
Oh, my student all day.
Oh,
I'll tell you right now, my student all day. My student all day, man. I promise you, I'm beating it to the head.
You're beating it to the head.
Yeah. But that's I guess that's a fun fact,
That's
Not
definitely
everybody
fun
knows.
facts, bro.
Everybody knows
It's
that.
fun facts because they don't know it.
Yeah.
For us, it's something that we know all the time. But these are people who they never met you, never seen you before, and they're just even the people who have seen you, maybe they didn't know that about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely get a lot of props on when I do dance. Like, I didn't know you know how to dance. I'm like, man, I got it.
Yeah.
So one thing about me as well, you're gonna know that I'm very humble. But when it comes to it, when you give me a little compliment, I might hit you with the man. I know, like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I'm truly really humble, man. But Steven, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I'm Steven. I'm 34. I run hotels out here in Orlando. I just moved back here from Phoenix. Like, fun fact, I was on TV like 10 years ago. So.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Oh shit! Do you want to drop the
Oh yeah,
TV?
it was Bridezilla. I was on season 10, episodes 6 and 7. You got 2. If you don't get 2 episodes on reality TV, something like that, you're trash.
You're
Just to say.
trash.
You are trash.
You are trash.
Yep.
Anyways, another thing, Steven, you told us like some statistics about the pod. Like it's something about it being top 10. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, not about the pod. Sorry about Brazilians.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, so after, because season 10 was supposed to be the last season for it, and they were gonna kill the show.
Yeah.
So afterwards, when they were bringing out all like the previews for the episodes that drop, and after the season was done, me and my ex-wife, we were in the top 10 of best episodes for
top
and that,
10, ladies
in the
and
top 10 of
gentlemen.
all the there's
many
10
and there was
seasons?
10 seasons.
10
10
seasons
seasons.
from season 1 to season 10.
Wow.
Did everybody get 2 episodes?
Not everybody.
Okay,
Not
everybody got 2 episodes.
Like,
there's 10 seasons,
the
and
mo-
he's in the top 10 of the episodes.
Yeah,
I've
so-
personally watched the episode.
Top 10, and he's not at the
Y'all
lower
gotta
half.
go watch.
No,
Steven's
we're. I'm
episode.
definitely. We were not at the lower half of that.
No,
So,
yeah.
There were no 8 or 9 in there. We were like, I want to say in top 5.
Wow,
Top five. Top 5.
Yeah,
Top
no,
five.
don't even say top 10, top,
Top
5.
five.
Yeah, we were in the
top
top
5.
five.
Yeah, stop it up for Steven. That's a dub. That's a dub.
That's a
yeah,
super
yeah.
dub.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
100%.
else?
I think that's about it.
That's about it.
What about you, Danny?
All right, my name is Danny. I am 24 years old, going on 25 in a little. Currently, I work a couple jobs. I do landscaping with my dad. I do streaming from time to time. I work at a hookah lounge / smoke shop. And I would say a couple interesting things about myself is that I don't think anyone quite has my mentality. And I would say I am surprisingly icy and clutch. I'm just like surprisingly icy. Like you can put me in a corner, all the pressure on me, and like I feel like I do better in clutch situations than I do maybe like when it's just my everyday.
When it's just,
you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
those are some things about me.
That's what's up.
That's great. That's great. Hey, let's
Yeah.
clap it up. Let's clap it up one more time. Hey man, so just fuck 12. Hey man, it's a little
That's
insider.
funny.
We'll
Yeah.
get into it more.
Yeah, that's not a
later.
shot at actual 12.
Yeah, it's not a shot. Actual
cops,
12.
You
Yeah.
know,
Just in case,
I don't want to, because I have cop friends. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So I don't want to get that misconception.
It's
But,
not. It's not a shot at them. Just
Yeah, it's
so
not
y'all
a shot
know.
at them.
Just
But-
a funny inside joke.
Yeah, this is an insider.
Inside.
Anyways, you guys want
Um.
to get into the first topic?
Yeah, man. Of course. I'm very excited to be here once again. This is episode
Facts.
2, man. Every
Episode
time,
2.
man. So tonight we're gonna be talking about breaking bad habits. Having a good support system around you. And really, how steps to take to eventually break those bad habits and create good ones.
Yeah.
Good ones that will help you in the long run. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. So first question really is, how do you know that you have a bad habit? Like how do you identify that you have a bad habit? Like,
That's a
what do you
good
guys
word.
feel about
That's
that?
a good word. Go, Steven.
So, to identify you have like a bad habit is like if your friends or the people around you say, "Hey man, you're doing all right." They keep asking you the same repetitive questions, like, "Hey man, looks like we're drinking." They're like, "Drinking a lot more than normal. You
Right.
doing all right? Something wrong?" I think that's one step of identifying it, or if yourself, you can even sit back and think like, "Man, it's like the 4th time this week I'm doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This might be becoming an issue."
So what would you say? Like, what would you like? How do you feel? Would you say that like, all right, you've identified it. Now, what do you do after that?
Go ahead. No,
Oh, I was gonna say, well, once you identify it, I think there's like steps you got to put in place if you want to, and I think it's all a mental game up here, and how much discipline you can put
That's
out.
a big part. Expand
Yeah.
on that, Steven, because
So, like-
people don't understand when you say that it's just there's a mental part.
Because it's easy if you set your body in. If you do something for 21 days straight, you get consistent at it. You're used to the repetition. You can go like even with the gym. You'll see people like beginning of the year they'll post all these things like, "Oh, gym 5 days in a row." Nothing. They don't stay consistent. I think everybody here is guilty of not being consistent on certain things. But once you become consistent on what you're doing with a habit and you're trying to break it, you're gonna keep doing the steps you need to do to eventually shake it, or if it depends what habit it is, or get it under control to where moderation. Do it in moderation.
So, Danny, how do you identify bad habits?
Steven made a bunch of really good points that I agree with. I know for maybe some of the viewers out there, not everybody has a support group. So identifying, almost self-identification is really, really important, and being truthful with yourself is really, really important. But I actually think you don't identify it in the moment or before you actually commit the bad habit. I think it actually happens after. I think it happens with the consequences. I think it happens when these negative consequences, they start to build and they start to take a toll on you, and you start to realize the toll that it's taking on you. Yeah. So maybe you can identify that it's specifically this bad habit, but you can kind of trace your steps and kind of figure out what happened. Yeah,
put the dots together. Yeah.
Exactly. Connect the dots and realize that it was something that you did. It wasn't something that someone else did. This isn't a negative consequence because of someone else's doing. It's only one of your own.
Yeah.
So identifying that can be hard sometimes, because it's hard to admit things sometimes, especially to yourselves. You know, everyone is very, very humble and they don't judge when it comes to other people. But when it comes to themselves, they just really, really, really want the opposite side of the spectrum. But I would say for me, a big part in identifying, for me specifically, and not maybe you guys could relate to it too, is when I feel like my energy is bothered or it's lowered in a certain specific part of the day that it shouldn't be.
So how would you?
I would say like waking up, right?
Right.
Like let's say I wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, the worst thing about waking up in the morning is getting out of your bed.
Oh, that's fact.
You know?
Yeah.
Getting out of your bed can be really, really strong sometimes. For me specifically, it is so strong that I have to create very, very strong, strict positive habits. Like put my phone on top of the counter or on top of my dresser. I put the alarm. And then guess what?
You gotta get out of bed.
You gotta get up, because after 10 minutes, that alarm is gonna go off again and again and again and again and again. You know what I mean? So I think that Stephen was saying, there are definitely solid ways to break bad habits. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's one way to specifically break it. I think it depends on the habit. I think it depends on if it's addiction or if it's a place, or you know what I mean, or it's just like a reoccurring interaction or problem that you're having with someone. Because bad habits don't always have to be an abuse. Bad habits can come from you're in your relationship. They can come from your friendships with people or with your coworkers,
or even just waking up late, you know what I'm saying, not being disciplined, or even I really feel like, you know, keeping the promises that you make to yourself is also a bad habit that a lot of people break and don't really know how to identify, because they sit there, man, and like they're the most Wow, man! I got a list today, man.
That list is strong today. It is strong.
Wow. All right.
I thought you had your retainer in.
All right. So like I was saying, man. At the end of the day, man, like a lot of people don't know how to identify that, and they could be the most like trustworthy person that they will keep a promise that they make to somebody else, no matter what. And I think that's great. That's beautiful. But you know what? If you can't keep the promises that you make to yourself, I think that's just plain out disrespectful to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like you got to be able to keep promises to yourself, because.
Well, I think when it's to another, well, if you can't. All right, I just had to fart myself.
It's in the air. It's in the air.
It really is. Is this what's in this hookah?
It was a bad habit, man.
This is a bad habit. This is a bad habit. Yeah. Cut it.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, everybody.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Y'all low-key forgot the end of what you said and how I was gonna relate it.
Nah, man. So basically, you just gotta
keeping promises. To yourself.
Keeping promises to yourself.
If you cannot keep a promise to yourself and you are keeping it to other people, these are empty promises. This is this isn't because you want to complete the task or you want to complete the promise. It's because you don't want to make the other person feel bad, because you have no problem with letting yourself down. So it's not about the actual promise. It's just about your emotions that are within the promise.
Yeah,
you know?
man. And I would argue that if you don't keep promises to yourself, then you don't really have a lot of self-love, because at the end of the day, man, like keeping promises to yourself is very important to it reflects how much you really like truly respect and love yourself.
And how much you grow.
And
how much you grow. You have to promise yourself things if you want to grow. You have to stay committed and have discipline and schedule for things and itineraries and being prepared. The there's like a great saying of like, I think it's like when opportunity comes every day, but opportunity strikes when it meets consistency and preparation.
Yeah.
You know, like anyone can have the opportunity, but are you ready for it?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. You have any take on that, Steven?
Well, yeah. There's a great points both you guys made. I also think like when you say when you promise people things, because that's kind of self-destructive behavior as well, and because that's the greatest feeling in the world, helping people, doing stuff for other people. But like they said, you have to do it for yourself as well.
Yeah, that go ahead, keep going.
Because honestly, I always find it fun. Like if my friends are out and stuff, and then we do something, I'll do it for them. I don't expect it in return, but it's nice when it happens.
Yeah, it's nice to get in return. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think and part of that is you have to, even everything we just said, you have to admit it to yourself one day. Like you have to sit there and look at yourself. It sounds corny if you don't walk by the mirror every day and say like something positive to yourself. You should probably do that more often. Makes you feel better. But if you can't admit to yourself and look at yourself and say, yo, I got a problem with this, I shouldn't be around this person, they're dragging me down, and you do it because you're holding on to whatever happiness you got out of that relationship,
or the faith and the memories that you could have carried.
If you're holding on to that,
you
gotta stop, because
you gotta stop. That's a bad habit.
Yes,
bad habits. Yeah,
you're just killing
yourself. It is
yourself.
a bad habit. Anytime you have to reach down to grab the people around you, and when the people around you don't want it themselves, it's this constant digression. You always have to go down to pick them up and to pick them up and to pick them up, and you'll
find yourself down there with them.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not growing as fast as you should be. You're not ascending the way you should be.
And I truly do believe we all meet people at certain times of their life, and you're there for a reason, to help them or for them to teach you a lesson.
Yep.
And I think with like some of it, little side story, but somebody I know out in Phoenix, good person when they're not on their dumb shit. Good person. But as soon as they turn that switch on to do their job, I'm not gonna call their job out, but they forget who they really are, and it kind of goes downhill after that.
Okay. All right. So we asked, how do you know that you have bad habits, right? So we said mainly identifying it,
admitting
it, hearing it from other people.
Yes.
What else?
Making promises to yourself.
Empty promises.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep them, it doesn't matter.
I would say self-destructive behavior as well.
Self-destructive behavior, like give us some example of that. So
like going back, like you can be with somebody, you can go all in for them, and they don't do anything for you, but you keep giving them like 120%, and they're giving you the bare minimum. Like you text, hey, good morning, how you doing? You want to do something, and you get a reply of, hi.
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
the wasteland can get dry sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's
like, damn. I know I just took you out for lunch like
a
couple days ago. Oh, you want to go out to lunch now? Now you want to talk? Oh, I was like, that's self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
Because if they can't value you as a person, then you don't need to be around them.
Well, it's like you said about earlier with the how when you're with your boys, you just do something for them and you don't expect it back in return, but when it does get reciprocated, you are so grateful for it, you know? So I think that's what that situation was. It was just the other person not reciprocating. And the opposite of them reciprocating and you feeling good is you feeling like shit, you know what I mean? And it's not fun. But that's why you have to be very careful and very decisive on who you're letting into your life, who you're letting surround your energy. That's something. I'm a disappearer. If I feel like the energy isn't there, if I feel like I'm in a place where I shouldn't be because I'm a very, very positive, bright person, and if I feel like my energy can be almost compromised in a sense, no matter where I'm at, I will disappear. Unless you're my family, I will disappear because to me it's not worth it. The only person I bleed for is my family.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you guys say? How important is it to have a support group around you? And let's say, like, obviously, when you're dealing with these bad habits, like, how important is it to have a support group that will keep you accountable, that will, sit there and actually call you out on the things that you know what I'm saying, that you're doing terrible in? Because at the end of the day, bad habits are bad habits, you know what I'm saying? They're, in the long run, aren't going to help.
It's 100%.
So how important is that to have a support group?
Like, you need it around you because we're humans are not lonely creatures. We're supposed to be around people all the time.
I think if you were to break it down, I think my fault.
Yeah,
I was talking in the mic like this. And I was going to hit the hookah, and I just started talking like this. So I went away for the mic.
Oh man,
I would say that if let's say we made a Venn diagram of what helps, the social group, the group that you need the supporting group around you is the Venn diagram. Everything falls within that. Everything falls within that. That's the most important thing you should find. You should find people who are like-minded. You should find people who respect your morals and beliefs and thoughts, and and they shoot straight. Shout out to Thomas one more time.
Shout out to Thomas,
because Thomas is someone who shoots straight. Thomas is gonna tell you how it is. He's gonna tell you what it's about, and he's not gonna sugarcoat it.
No.
Yeah. And honestly, man, contrary to the belief, man, I appreciate those people the most. The people that can sit there and be brutally honest
because they're not
how you feel.
Exactly, because they're not gonna bullshit you.
Yeah,
they're not gonna bullshit you. They understand what you're capable of. They understand what you do and what you're made of, and for you to be doing this bullshit, they're gonna call you out on it
100%.
because you're not. That's not normal to you. That's abnormal. You know.
Abnormal, yeah.
And
not in a good way.
Negatively, yeah. Negatively.
100%.
If you get offended by what someone says to you when they care about you, you're like, oh, that was hurtful. Okay, well, remember how that felt and fix the action because that's the only way you're gonna get better.
That's actually funny because before we even started to speak about it, I was waiting for my turn to speak. And that was the first thing I was gonna say is that to have a solid friend group around you, you need to have a lot of self-control and self-respect for them. Yep. Because they don't speak from a place of malintent, The people who are really your supporters, they speak from a place of really wanting the best from you. So for you to ignore them is kind of like spitting in their face.
Yep.
So because they're going out their way to help you in a sense. Yep. They don't have to help you. They can watch you sit and burn. I know people who are like that, And I think when you have that side of it, and then you get a supportive friend group, everything just seems so much easier.
So what do you do as let's say so I like, here's a little side note, maybe not now, but back in my days, like a couple years ago, give or take, I had a lot of bad habits, and I honestly didn't, at least for me, I didn't feel like I had a pretty decent support group that I could go to, or people to keep me accountable, you know what I'm saying? Like, so what would you do in that sense? If you were to give me advice, what would you do in that sense? Like I say, you don't really have a good support group. The people around you don't really call you out on anything. They just kind of let you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And what do you do?
What do I?
Yeah.
If that was towards you?
No. Like if I was in that situation, like what advice would you give me to do to?
I would tell you to reevaluate your circle.
Okay.
And I would say when you're doing what you're doing, does anybody hey man, you need to chill. Like, you think about it, if they keep encouraging it, then you need to reevaluate that because they're not looking out for your best interest.
So basically, right? You're telling them, or telling me, right? Let's say the audience has the same issue. You know what I'm saying? Look out for the people around you and make sure that they're good people and they keep you accountable. When you tell them you're gonna do something, make sure they, in future tense, obviously, like you tell them you're gonna do something now in a day or two, ask or look out to see who asks you, hey, by the way, did you do this?
Yeah.
You said you were gonna do this, so did you do it? If you did it, great. If you didn't, that's gonna make you feel like, wow, I did tell him I was gonna do that, and that'll, kind of like force you to, do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important to have a support group, and if you don't, obviously look at the circle around you. Just test it out. Just hey, bro, I'm gonna do this, whatever. I'd like for you to like, kind of keep me accountable. If they help you out, they help you out. But if they don't, man, then you just gotta, like Steven said, just reevaluate and really put yourself around the people that you want
to be around.
That you want to see them do good and they want to see you do good. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's very important.
You make the people who are around you. If anyone in the audience was to meet me or any of my best friends or my girl or my brothers or my sisters, they would all see a very similar energy, a very similar human. You know what I mean? But it's because I was so patient and I saw, it's hard for me to kind of go into this topic too deeply of like what it is to not have a group, because to me, I didn't care how long it took to get those people. I just wanted to make sure that the people who were in that group were cut from a very, very specific cloth. Yeah. And you can ask any of my bestest friends. I've explained my ideology and how I keep people in my life in a hierarchy of trust. And wherever you're at in the hierarchy of trust, that's where I hold you in my life. If I have 100% trust to you, I hold you to the highest regards. I'll always have your back. You'll never have to worry about nothing. But if I hold you in that 20%, if I hold you in that 40%, just know that that's all you're going to get from me is that 40%. Because I've been burned, no pun intended. I've been burned left and right, and it's not fun. You know what I mean? It is not fun. Cool, so I think reevaluation is very, very hard. We say it and it's very easy, but to actually do that in your life with your circle, to let go of people, is very, very hard. And this all comes full circle back to making promises to yourself. There are some things in life that you have to make a promise to yourself and you have to keep it. You have to stick with it, because maybe it's not that your group are the worst type of people, but maybe it's not a good time for them. Maybe you can find other people who are in the right time and people who can support you and people 100%. Who will look out for you.
Yeah, man, I really feel like most people are too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Just because your day ones are your day ones, because y'all grew up together, don't mean they gotta be your day ones when you're in the adult life, in the adult world. Yeah. I truthfully believe that, man. I have a lot of day ones. Love them to death, and I'll say it here, man. I love you guys, man. You guys are great.
Yeah, but, love y'all.
We all gotta, part our ways, man. I have different goals and views and values, and I really wanna be out there, and I know you guys have other thoughts and other plans in mind, and man, obviously, I wish I could take y'all with me. You know, on the way up, but
I know, but that's the thing. Man, that's the thing.
We all have different routes,
We all have different.
You gotta be able to learn how to get uncomfortable and let go of what you know for most of your life, and move on to new roads. Pave your own roads, man.
You gotta pave your own roads. At the end of the day, you're gonna learn the most in life from the most uncomfortable moments. Yep. That's where you're gonna have the lessons. This is where you're gonna have the real change in your life. So always kind of throwing yourself in that is good in a sense. It teaches you how to adapt. It teaches you how to not be scared. Because I think that a lot of people, it's not that they're scared about the decision. They're scared about the actual jump to do it. To actually say, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it, I'm just gonna start a podcast. You know what I mean? Some people, they're about it, and some people really want it, and some people they don't. And to other people, I know there's a lot of people. I said people like 10 times already. And from all the people I know, a lot of them try to, invite me out and do things with me. But it's no shot to you guys. I love you all. I really do. But I just want you to know that I'm so locked in and I'm so focused that unless you're focused and locked in like me, and my time is not being wasted. I'm very, very efficient with my time. And it's not that I don't want to hang out with them. You know what I mean? It's more just about that I kind of want it a little bit more. And if you take that as an offense, you should take that as an offense because I really do want it more than you. And if you think you want it more than me, then go get it.
Thoughts without action are just dreams.
Exactly.
That never come to life, you know?
Yeah. So I think that's a big helpful step in the self-evaluation part. When you can self-evaluate what you're going through, what you want, your aspirations, letting people go, a lot of that has to do with that real evaluation. You know what I mean?
And breaking those habits, man, are very hard. Removing those people are very hard.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. We're not saying it's gonna be easy.
It's not easy.
We're not saying it's gonna be easy. We're here to help.
Yeah.
That's it. The advice is helpful. The insight is helpful. We're not saying it's gonna be easy. We're not saying it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be some things that are easier for you and some things that are harder for you. It all depends on what your skills are in this life, you know. But the what we say here is helpful. It is helpful. If you actually do apply it, it does work. But don't quit and then say it wasn't helpful because you quit. Because now that's just it's a broken promise.
All we have for you guys is honestly, we're giving you the tools, man. You got to be able to use them. We'll give you the tools, and we're telling you how to use them.
And you guys got to be Bob the Builder.
You guys got to build it. You guys
got to build it. Fix it.
Yep.
So, yeah, man. I really, really, truthfully believe, man. Like, it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard to break those bad habits. And honestly, at the end of the day, man, it all comes down to consistency and being disciplined. The same way you were consistent and disciplined in making that bad habit a habit is the same way. It's the same amount of effort and toughness and consistency and discipline that you need to be able to turn that around and make good habits or even change the people around you. You know, at the end of the day, there's a quote, and I'm pretty sure you and most of the audience know that the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most are what?
I think it was like
was it
the 4 people you surround, you'll be the 5th. I think that's
okay. Yeah.
I think that's how it goes. Like if you surround yourself with 4 millionaires, you're gonna be the 5th one.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with 4 bums, you're gonna be a bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was saying before. You have to find like-minded people. You have to find, if you think there's no one out there like you, you're not different, bro. I promise you, there's people like you.
We're all alike in some way.
Yeah, we're all alike. You know what I mean? It's just if it's clicked in for one of us, you know? Like, I know plenty of people. I love them to death. Life hasn't clicked in for them yet. And I've been taking life serious since a young age. So, like, I just have a lot of time taking it serious. And now they're just starting to take it serious. And there's leeway. There's a lot of things that they have to learn, you know? And, yeah, I think another thing we should talk about is not just after you break a bad habit or the contrast and the balancing that you have to do. Yeah, but exactly, keeping it after the upkeep of it. Because that's all part of, you know, it's almost like an addiction in a sense, right? Let's say you have an addiction. You go to rehab. After you go to rehab, what? You think rehab is just going to fix all your thoughts?
No.
No, it's going to help a lot. It's maybe going to stop what you're doing.
In the hour that you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then when you leave,
that's where discipline comes in.
That's where the discipline comes in. This is where the fortitude comes in. This is where a lot of that mental game that Steven was talking about earlier comes in. You know, that mental game is really 80-90% of the battle.
Yeah. You got anything for us, Steven, about the mental game?
Yeah, you just gotta be consistent.
Yeah.
Stick to the plan. And if another good thing that you can do, it takes like honestly 1 second or 1 to 2 seconds.
12 seconds.
It can be. Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, 12 seconds. Yeah,
12 seconds.
He said
12 seconds.
He said 1 to 2.
1 to 2. Yeah, sorry.
1 to 2. I was trying to create a bar.
No, I don't know. I think you.
Oh,
that
anyway.
wasn't a shot. 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
Yeah,
You know, 12 seconds.
I don't know. I'm worth a little bit more than 12 seconds, but that's just me. Just saying.
Anyway, whatever sponsor we get, I want 12% off of whatever product is
12% off.
12% off. Then we can we'll donate it to any 12 charities that are willing to.
Yeah.
They can pick it.
True.
But no,
yeah.
Get a piece of paper. It takes like honestly 1 to 2 to 5 seconds, and write down like, hey, I need to drink more water. I need to listen to more motivational speeches.
Mm-hmm.
It literally takes it. Writing stuff down. Honestly, that is a step in the right direction.
Well, talk about this, Steven, is that everything that you're saying, because you said earlier, you said it may sound corny, but to look in yourself in the mirror
Yeah, no.
and to tell yourself things. Listen, guys and girls, it's not corny until you try it, right? It's not corny until you try it. You don't know what's going to benefit you. You don't know what's going to affect you. So all of it's going to sound real stupid. Let me tell you that. It's all going to sound really stupid and pointless, right? But until you actually start applying it. If you go in the mirror and you tell yourself that you look good and I feel good for one day, you're not going to see too much difference.
No.
Do it for 3 months. Do it for 6 months. Do it for a year. And then come back to me and tell me how much of a difference it makes.
Yep.
Because it's the consistency. It's the discipline of something that is going to almost fortify the results, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I think.
Yeah, he's 100% correct.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they give like bullshit excuses, but at the end of the day, it's if you want it or you don't want it.
Yeah.
You know? And I want it bad. How bad do you want it, Steven?
I want it bad enough.
I want it bad enough, bro. I'm trying to be on a fucking boat.
Yeah, like
You know?
No, that's facts.
And like people, they can say what they want. I work too much. I do this. I do that. I'm trying to be in the water. I want to be on water. I want to be floating on the water. Not saying I want a boat or not materialistic things, but in the sense of that freedom of life.
Yep.
That's what I want. If it means that I have to do this every single day until I can get it, that's how much I want it, you know? But I feel like a lot of people will downplay you wanting it as like, oh, you're changing. Oh, you're doing this different.
It's you're making them feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. But in all reality, I'm doing something new and growth. Exactly.
Growth requires change.
Growth requires change.
Requires change at all times, man.
GRC.
A little side story. I knew this one person. I still know him. I have no ill will towards them. I met them when they had literally nothing.
Yeah.
And now, well, they still have nothing, but they're with somebody that put them up there to be successful. So what do? They want to bring people that are younger than them around to like, oh, look at this. Look, this is mine. This is mine. I'm like, you didn't do any of that. You just have someone to help you out because they care about you. Good for them. But you switch up, and they switched up on me 100%. They're like, oh, we're not friends no more, this and that. Over nothing. Literally nothing. I was like, that's fine. Cool. I ain't got no ill will towards you. Keep doing your thing. But just know when you go and tell people things because you were supposed to be best friends. I would never do this. I don't go behind people's back. But if I open my mouth about just 1% of the stuff they told me, they'd be gone. They'd be on the streets. But I ain't gonna do that. I don't believe in that because that's bad karma.
That is bad karma. Bad karma. Just because something happens to you, it does not mean that you need to reciprocate it. Actually, the real growth will show in how you respond.
Yeah.
Not how you react.
Yeah.
You know, keyword, react,
respond.
Respond, you know. Make sure that you are responding, ladies and gentlemen. Because a reaction is something that comes when it catches you off guard. And guess what? Nothing catches me off guard. Put the applause, Chris. And as nothing is catching me off guard, I'm shooting straight, bro. So like that's all you have to do is just focus on yourself. As soon as you start focusing on these outside pressures and these outside realities that you think that they're actually impacting you so much, when 90% of the impact comes from right here. It all comes from right here.
Yeah.
Because I can have shitty weeks, not days, shitty weeks in a row. And people can say, Danny, you have the worst luck I've ever seen. You know when people tell me that? A lot of people tell me I have the worst luck I've ever seen. That they've ever seen.
But how do you react to it?
How do I respond? I respond by saying I'm the GOAT.
Yeah.
I respond by still doing my schedule, this strenuous schedule that I do. Still being as happy and positive as I am.
In a good mood, yeah.
That is the real choice.
Deciding.
This is the real discipline. This is the real consistency.
Yep.
And look at the results. You know what I mean?
Preach it.
So,
man, that's great, man. At the end of the day, yeah, I definitely agree. Breaking bad habits and doing everything you can to, you know, stay in your good foot, you know, really like in your good stride to, you know, succeeding and growing and, you know, making new memories and making connections and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing journey. It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard. And it's been a hard journey for even myself, man. And I'm much like you guys as well. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be here today
but that's what
we wouldn't have gone through any hardships.
That's what makes it so rewarding.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes it so rewarding is the hard and the consistency and the effort that you throw into it. And it's so relentless. It's like basketball, right? We both played basketball growing up. I remember when you first started playing basketball, you used to get excited for every shot that you made. And now you've been playing basketball so long and you worked at it so long that when you miss a shot, you're like,
whatever.
What the am I blind?
What?
Like, what is wrong? Are my motor skills not working?
You just look at your hand like...
Yeah, you just look at your hand like, bro, what the heck? What did you just do? You know what I mean? But look how excited you used to get off of making one shot. You know what I mean? Before, you probably would have been like, oh my gosh, that was close. Now it's like, that just hit back rim? What the fuck is wrong with my shot?
Yeah, man, you expect more out of yourself.
You expect more out of yourself because it's something you put so much time into, so much effort into, you know? So what we're trying to say at the end of the day is make sure that you are putting, how Chris said before earlier, life is about balance. And you have to put the contrast effort, the same effort that you put into all these bad habits, you need to put the contrast effort in breaking them. You have to work just as hard to break them. And if you've been doing it for a while, it's not going to happen in a month, Pops.
Yeah. It's not a month, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be a year and a half down the road and then it happens.
The problem is that people
they quit before that.
Well, they quit before it, but they love to give it a timeline.
Yeah, that's
because like they earned the right after doing the bad habit for so long that it should end like this.
Yeah.
After they just chose to do it for so long, they want to have the power to just snap it away. Isn't that crazy? It's disrespectful. Yeah. It really is disrespectful to nature and God. It's disrespectful because you put so much negative into something. Yeah. And you only wanted to put a little positive reinforcement
to
back.
Get rid of it completely.
To get rid of it completely.
You can't. You got to use the same energy force. You know, without...
It doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, there's just baby steps that you can take to really complete a goal, you know? A lot of people, they just throw the goal out there and then they're like, if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
So, really, guys, let's wrap this up. So really, breaking bad habits, first and foremost, you got to identify it.
Identify, for sure.
Got to be able to identify it. Got to have a good support system around you.
Good support system.
Got to keep you accountable. Yep. You know, and if you don't, obviously, you got to sit there and have a mental willness to realize that and go out and look for a great support system. You know what I'm saying?
Got to have a plan.
Got to have a plan. Write it down. Give yourself, daily affirmations. I think it's very important to tell yourself, great affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not corny until you try it.
It's not corny at all, man. Like
you can't call something corny that you've never tried.
Exactly.
The best way to win the battle, no matter how much of an underdog you are, the best way to win the battle is by believing that you're going to win that battle. Yep. And at the end of the day, is also taking small steps, small wins, taking small dubs on a daily basis. Consistency, they add up. Big changes require small goals to be able to get the.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this at Laya of how do you expect me not to be happy all the time when before I'm even catching my first L, I won 10 times.
Yeah.
I'm comparing 10 W's to 1 L.
Yeah.
And then to me,
and the L's are coming.
L is for learn. It's not for loss.
Yeah. Or as a lesson.
Learn. There's a lesson.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you use that towards the next time you go for it. And the next time you go for it, you go even harder. And you go with that information already thought and planned into it. So now when it hits you, it doesn't hit you off guard. You're ready for it. You know what I mean? And I think it was another big thing we talk about is being ready for it.
Being ready. Being prepared to make that change and those choices. And those decisions.
Tough decisions.
Is a big one, man.
Reevaluations. Making the reevaluation and that decision of realizing who's around you and how they're affecting you, and if they're there to take advantage or if they're there to actually benefit you and not be there for malintent and actually to be there for your well-being. Because that's another part of the reevaluation that we didn't talk too much about, is that sometimes there's people in your life that it's a, what's that called? I think it's called a symbiotic relationship. Is that when only one person is, or is that both?
Symbiotic.
I know what you're talking about.
I learned it in AP environmental science.
Oh, no.
Man, hold on.
You're talking about someone that, you're talking like a parasite.
Yeah, like a parasite. Well, a symbiotic relationship, if I'm not mistaken, is when it's working from both of us. We're both reciprocating.
Oh yeah.
But then there's one where it's.
All right, do you guys want
like a leech? It's basically like a leech.
Do you guys want to know?
Yeah,
I think it's like a fish. It shows a goldfish,
right.
But it says symbiosis is any type of a close and long-term biological interaction between two biological organisms of different species, termed symbionts, be it mutualistic, commensalistic, and paris.
Yeah, like
exactly.
like you've seen like those reels of like the
yeah.
Like those big cats, like the lions and tigers, and like the mother abandons them to have like a dog raise it. So for that whole life of that lion or tiger, that dog is its friend. And even when the dog's like 10 years old and the tiger's 10, the tiger will always remember the dog and they will always get along and play.
Yeah.
So
So man, is there anything else you guys want to add on to this topic real quick? Yeah, no.
One more. I would say, and for the people like that, you're like when he said it was corny, just remember, like the person you look up to, like a role model, they have probably been in that same place before,
and they've done all those corny things.
And look where they're at.
Tenfold. They've done it tenfold, and these are the same people you look up to.
Yep.
That's what Steven's saying.
Yep.
So open your eyes, because the people you look up to the most, the people who you want to be your support group, they have done the corny things. They have the mental fortitude that you want. You know what I mean? So don't be so naive and stupid not to try something that will give you a benefit at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah. Any last thoughts, comments, concerns? I really feel like we could talk about this for hours, man.
We
could, yeah. But I think
just to make this one,
I think we got all the good, like the inner workings of breaking a bad habit, the middle part, even the outside factors that come to it, keeping it, keeping it still in check after. And you're right. We can't talk about it for more and more, for longer and longer. But
for another episode,
we can get some other insights for you guys, some other guests, see what they have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
That was really fun, though.
That
was a good topic. That was
a great topic, man. So really quick, just so you guys, stay in tune, man. I'm very excited for even next week's podcast.
Oh yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen,
for sure.
Let me just break it down like this. You got 3 people here who really want it bad. Everything we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 people of that cloth. And Papito Dios, he really looked out, putting us in each other's lives in this moment, where we're all really on that rise. We're all really on that up climb, that mentality shift, that change.
Yeah, man.
So like I said before in the previous episode, I'm just like so excited to do it with you guys, because I know you guys are just about it as much as I am.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like the fact that we got, shout out to Thomas, the fact that we got, the softbox lighting, you know what I mean? Yeah, big Thomas, yeah.
Anytime,
train, bro. Any more shout outs? Do you guys want to have any more shout outs?
Nah, man. I mean, just the people supporting us, reposting the reels and everything.
Yes,
on Instagram, exactly.
Shout out to everyone last night that we hit up and they reposted it for us.
And they reposted
appreciate
it.
you
Shout
guys.
out to all the reposts.
Shout out to you guys, man. We really appreciate it, man. I'm so thankful, man. I didn't think I was going to have this much support starting it, if I'm going to be
completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
But man, there's a lot of people that are.
Mm-hmm. I think a big part of it has to do with people who realize our potential, and they're like seeing us pour it into something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're seeing it. They're seeing us pour it into something, and they're so excited because like they're basically like the support group that we've been talking about.
Yeah, man.
They're the people who are like, well, finally, you know what I mean? Like, when's the first episode come out? Like, people aren't even asking us, like, what type of camera we got, what topics, what is the podcast about? They just want to know when it's coming out. Real supporters, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, man. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my girl. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Chris's mom, because she really She
really looked out.
came in
looked
clutch,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. She really looked out with this whole venue and the whole switch. And we're just super grateful for all you guys.
Yeah, 100%. Stay tuned. Next week we have a guest.
Stay tuned. Big guest.
I'm not really sure about the topic that we're gonna have yet.
Don't matter. It's gonna be gas.
It's gonna be gas. It's gonna be
It's gonna be a
gas.
good
We're
one.
gonna give a lot of insights, a lot of good value and information, man. And yeah, hopefully a lot more jokes and laughs. You know, obviously, you know. For
Oh,
clubs,
little caveat in there is we're gonna try to do like a custom podcast, which like once a month, right?
Yeah.
Say?
Yeah,
I would say like once a month. We're gonna do a custom podcast so that, you know, as much I know as you guys love the insight and advice, you guys can see a little bit of our personality and you guys can hang out with kind of Chris, Steven, and Danny, like if you guys were here, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna really try to work on that
work on the
this
on
week
the, on the fun
and like
week.
really try to find a couple topics that we can just dip in and out of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that it's a fun one. It's something
I know
that we
one.
can get a lot of laughs.
I
We
know
can
one.
roast each other, you know. You got one?
Yeah.
All right, save it. We'll talk
Save
about it.
Yeah,
after
we
the
talking
camera.
about it off cam. But hey, man, yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank
Man,
you.
Love you guys. Love
Yep,
you guys.
be safe.
Love you
Have a good
guys,
night.
for
Have a
real.
good one.